lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bomb, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos. Hello, and welcome to Phillies Weekly. Another week, another great week, Jeff. I mean, what a week we had. I mean, that sweeping of the Seattle Mariners at the end of their road trip was really, really important for the Phils to get going. I mean, those bats, I don't think I've seen the combination of both hitting and pitching and defense as good as we saw in that series against Seattle. In addition to that, I mean, this series within the division, I mean, with the Nationals, I mean, I think we played okay. We did not had our best showing, but definitely Ranger today, I mean, was super special.
Yeah, I agree, Oscar. And look, I know a couple weeks ago we talked about, was this the Phillies' best week of the year? I mean, when you go 5-1 and you have 3 great games against the Mariners like you did, and then they could have easily been 6-0 this week, right? Easily. The Nationals are tough. I really like this Nationals team. I think they got a bright future. I'm just glad the Phillies are kind of done with them for this year. But at the end of the day, 7 games up on the Mets going into this series. You can't ask for more.
Look, Jeff, today is a very, very special day. Today we have one of the – I mean, look, when I came to Philly, if there was one person and one show that I would watch is that Monday morning show in WIP, and Rhea Hughes is with us. She is at the heart of that show, and she's going to be here with us together with Destiny, that does an amazing job with Phillies Nation. Look, let's not wait any longer. Look, let's bring the dream team in. Look at that. Rhea, what a pleasure to be here with us. I mean, it's really, really an honor to have you here. You're a person that, look, when I came to Philly 22 years ago, I mean, that show was like my north. I mean, that's how I completely fell in love with the Eagles. I mean, the Phils have always been there, and the Eagles and all that, but you made it very, very special. So thank you for joining us. It's truly an honor.
Well, Oscar, thank you. And as I told you when I finally met you for the first time about a month ago, you and Jeff at a Phillies game down on the field, that I just want people to know how much I love this podcast. Every Monday during the summer, I drive up from the shore at 1:45 to get to work because I got to drop my dog off.
1:45 in the morning.
1:45 in the morning. I get into work between 3:15 and 3:30 every morning. So you guys keep me awake. I drive in and I listen to you, and I love the show. And Destiny, I have been a Phillies Nation reader for like forever. I don't know how, if you guys have been around like 15, 20 years, but I found it by accident 15 or so years ago. I just did a search for a Phillies blog, and I am a diehard Phillies Nation. If you love Phillies content, Phillies Nation is amazing, and I'm a huge, huge fan. And Jeff knows I pretty much quote him in an update at least once or twice a week. So I'm a big fan of all 3 of you.
Rhea, it's so funny. So my dad will like text me in the morning, be like, "Oh, you were mentioned this morning." I'm like, "Oh, was I?" Like, because I don't listen to WIP every day, but I listen most days. It's funny when I'm driving to like Eagles practice or something, then I hear my name. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy." So, by the way, it was really cool over the years to be on with you and Angelo and all that. It was such a fun time for me.
Loved it.
Destiny, thank you for joining us. I know how busy you are. I mean, Destiny, it's in the press room right now. She's going to New York tomorrow. I mean, again, thank you, truly. Thank you for joining us. One of the hardest working persons in the entire Phillies world. There she is. Destiny Lugardo. How you doing, Destiny?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate everything, Oscar. It's all for you. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to talk Phils on a really nice week. I remember the first time I came on the show, like they got swept by the Pirates, and I was kind of like, what the heck am I going to talk about? Like, how do I even reflect on what just happened? So,
look, at the end of the day, this is a game. I mean, we all look at this, and I played baseball since I was a little kid, and fell in love with the game and respect the game tremendously. And look, you don't take anything for granted. And this is a week where kind of we heard good news. I mean, look, the Phillies are 7 games up on the Mets, and we'll look into that. But I think this is heartbreaking when you see a news like this with Zach Wheeler. That to me, he's one of the most special persons in this organization. One of the guys that every 5 days he goes out there, give his heart out. One of the best pitchers in baseball, and it's heartbreaking to hear what he's going through right now, and that we're not going to have the great Zach Wheeler for the postseason. I mean, it's heartbreaking, to be honest with you. I don't know from your end, Rhea. I mean, how do you see this? And I mean, your perspective, being so many years in the sports world and seeing something like this.
So it's interesting because I think Zach, and it's probably partially our fault at WIP. I think he's one of the most underrated players. Certainly one of the greatest, free agent acquisitions ever to come into the city of Philadelphia. So I think when I first heard it, I think we all kind of assumed. I mean, I know it's taken a week to go. He's not going to be here for the next year. I think we all knew. We heard blood clot, and we're like, yeah, this is it. He's done. My concern was because he had talked about, I'm going to be done in 2027. I'm going to retire. And I thought, he's going to be done. His statement that he put out today actually made me feel better. I mean, it sucks that he's not here for the rest of this year because obviously I don't think there's another team that had a Zach Wheeler and a Christopher Sanchez at the top of their rotation. So that's really brutal. But when I read his statement today, I read, no, he's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming
back.
back.
That did make me feel better. So I did feel better in that respect from seeing his statement.
Yeah. So, I mean, Destiny, your thoughts when you heard the news yesterday and then today, Zach's press release, any thoughts as you cover this team on a day in and day out basis?
I mean, I think initially when you hear he's on the IL with a blood clot, your initial thinking on it is that he's probably not going to pitch the rest of the season, and you're kind of just holding out maybe a little bit of hope that he might come back. And then you get the news that he's going to be out for the season and then possibly for a little bit of next season. But I think my colleague Bailey Digg was at the Dave Dabrowski, Paul Buchheit meeting yesterday where they talked about Zach Wheeler, the surgery, the prognosis. And I think there was I don't want to say they were optimistic, but there was a hint of optimism that once he does get this surgery, and I'm going to say it's a huge blow that Zach Wheeler is not going to be available for the playoffs. But once he gets the surgery, once he rehabs, there's a very good chance that he's going to be the same pitcher that he was pre-surgery. So I think as a Phillies fan, you have to be super optimistic about that. But in the short term, no doubt, their chances of winning the World Series take a major hit with Zach Wheeler not being available for the postseason. But I think they, you stack up their rotation against a lot of the other competitors in the not only the National League, but the American League. They're still up there, especially the Christopher Sanchez as the ace. The offense looks a lot better. The bullpen has improved dramatically since the trade deadline. So, yeah, it's going to be tough to win without Zach Wheeler, but I think they have still a really good chance.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Jeff, any thoughts? I mean, the team, as soon as we heard the news, this team have gone 5-1. So you can see Christopher Sanchez, Lugardo. You see the tremendous job that the Ranger did today. They truly step up, and they're trying to cover for Zach and the boy that he leaves.
Yeah, Oscar. And look, when I first heard the news, I was scared for him. I talked about last week. I didn't know what to think. I was just hoping for him to be healthy and to get through it. And I'm kind of glad that it's been diagnosed. It looks like he's going to get taken care of. I was talking to players on Monday and when I was there, and it was a lot of uncertainty. No one kind of knew what was going on. This was all kind of a shocker to them. But they were texting him. It seemed they were in good spirits. I'm like, okay, look, if these guys are okay, I think I can be okay with it. And the whole win it for Wheeler thing that's been going on social media. I've heard players say that. Yeah, win it for Wheeler. So let's go do this. They all wear shirts, win a ring. That's what they want to do. And look, I agree with you. I think a lot of starters are stepping their game up a little bit, just taking that extra push, if you will. Like Taijuan Walker at 38 pitches in the first inning the other night. He somehow managed to get through five or I think it was 5 innings. That's just incredible. And I really think that Mariners series was a testament to the mental fortitude of this team.
That's true. And the other thing we need to keep in perspective, this has happened throughout the history of baseball. I mean, you saw Kane with the San Francisco Giants, and then you saw Bumgarner being the MVP and stepping up when that happened. I mean, you saw Ronald Acuna leaving. I mean, the superstar of the Atlanta Braves, and they bring in 3 outfielders and finding a way around it. Look, if this team had something since the very beginning of the year is starting pitching depth. And look, with all that we complained last year and talked not so good about our friend Taijuan Walker, I mean, he has stepped out and pitched significantly better than we all imagine. And look, he's gonna be the 5th starter for the remaining of the year, and hopefully he can continue to have some quality starts here and there and help this team together with Nola. I think there's a number of questions here that we're gonna have to answer. But the reality is this team is hitting in all cylinders. I mean, finally, we're seeing this offense, pull the numbers that we expect. I mean, when you start looking at the week, look, it was amazing. What we were able to achieve this week. When you look at some of the numbers here, and I'll put it out there, we had 7 runs this week per game. Being going 5-1. Our starting pitching ended up at 4 with some hiccups. With our relief pitching as well as Taijuan that did not pitch as well. But the reality is that our hitting, is hitting in all cylinders. And I was looking at stat today from NBC Sports that they were doing during the broadcast, and it truly impressed me. I'm going back and looking at it. Just give me 1 second here. First of all, Trey Turner hitting .463 in the last 12 games with 13 runs and 10 RBIs. Trey, he's been the leader all season. And then in the month of August, the Phillies are hitting .274. They're 4th in baseball. Extra base hits, 78, 2nd in baseball. Home run, 34, 4th in baseball. RBIs, 5th. OPS, 4th. And the numbers, when I'll show you the numbers that we normally show on offense, we're up in the top 10 now in home runs, and we were 16th like 4 weeks ago. So this offense have really, really take it to another level. So that is great news. And you see it here, 12 runs. Let's be clear. That series versus Seattle, the best series this team have had in a long, long time.
Probably since the turn of the century, if we're going to be honest.
Yes. According to your stats, Jeff, it's the turn of the century.
Look, 12 runs in the first game, 11 runs in the third game, and then winning 6-4. Look, this was to me the game we lost on Friday is a game we're probably going to win 9 out of 10 times, but I don't know. What do you, Destiny? What did you saw in that game? From our dear friend Duran. The Durantula, everybody was really excited, and then suddenly the Durantula kind of gave a couple of hits on the line. We heard some crazy things today that the guy has allowed 4 hits toward the lines in the last 2 years, and 3 of them happened in this series. This was crazy.
Yeah, look, this was bound to happen. Like Duran, he has probably the best stuff of any reliever in baseball, but every closer is going to blow a save. Like, I don't care about 2008 Brad Lidge. When you go back and think about that season, it's total miracle how he was perfect in save opportunities. But I would give the Nats lineup a lot of credit. Dylan Cruz fell behind 0-2, and then he kind of just guessed and then hit a ball the other way. Sometimes, like with hard stuff like that, and with guys that have a lot of bat speed, you kind of just like stand back and maybe hit the ball a little bit late, and then you find a hole. It feels like that's what happened with Duran. And, obviously, like, this is, like I said, one of the best closers in baseball. Like, he's going to bounce back. He did the the day after.
I mean, yesterday, I mean, he was amazing yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could also think about it like if he went perfect for the first 2 months of his Phillies career, and then he blew the first game of the NLDS, like that wouldn't be a great look. So
that is
maybe,
such a Philadelphia thing for you to say that. Destiny, I thought your story because I was upset, obviously, and Jeff knows this. I panic early and often, and I'm like, but I thought when I read your story on Saturday morning, I went, it's like it was going to happen. So, it's just, and Rob Thompson pointed out Mariano Rivera, who, he was with, had 80 of them. So, but here's what I found really interesting. And I know we all think he's a bit of a loon these days, but did you guys see the tweet by,
yes.
So I'm going to read it. I wrote it down. I got to put my glasses on. But Lenny Dykstra, because I checked into this with one of our friends, Ruben Amaro Jr., friendly advice to Phil's coaching. If your pitcher throws 103 miles an hour, maybe guard the baselines. Every swing will be late, not that complicated. And Rob Thompson was asked about it, and he said they're looking into shading the fielders toward the line, considering Duran's velocity. And I mean, I thought it was funny on two things. They're learning Duran, which obviously hasn't been here that long. And Lenny Dykstra pointed it out. So I thought those were two very interesting
just so we needed to hear from, right?
You know what, Rhea? The last time I've heard Lenny Dykstra say anything relevant, he was like busting on Mitch Williams when you guys were at the Borgata, saying he was hitting barrels or something like that. I had no idea what he was talking about.
But
I tuned him out. I left it where he went with the Mets.
But I was asking people, is he wrong?
No, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I mean, so I thought it was interesting, and I thought when they asked Rob, like they may start to think about it, and I said to myself, they've got to learn this guy. The guy's been here a month, and the first couple of times he was out, boom, boom, boom. There were no base runners, so maybe they have to learn that.
And the other thing is the part of not baseball. I mean, the fans and everyone is having so much fun when he comes in. That is automatic that you're gonna. It's like we're already celebrating before even the last out.
True.
So that whole dynamic that was very, very interesting. So look, let's keep things in perspective. And one of the beauties of this is that we're seeing a lot more green here than we've seen all year. So basically, right now we're 76 and 54. We're 22 games above 500. We have not been. This is the first time all year that we're 22. Jeff always sends me this text message saying, "Hey, we're 20, we're 21." Well, we've never been 22. Today we're 22.
Well, you know what else I sent you? Oh, by the way, Oscar, they have the same record through 130 games as they did last year, but it feels different.
Absolutely. Same record as they did last year. We won 95 games. We're projecting 94, 95 games to win in the year. So it's fantastic. We're 7-3, 14-6, 19-11. Everything is pointing in the right direction. I think we are 21-13 since the All-Star game. I think we have like the third or fourth best record in all baseball outside of Milwaukee. Man, I don't know what happened in Milwaukee. I mean, they are on asteroids or something because it's guys.
It doesn't make any sense, Oscar, whatsoever.
Absolutely. They went crazy. By the way, that was a joke for every Milwaukee Brewer fan out there.
They're good. I'll say that. They're good.
Yeah. Look, we continue to do our magic at home, 42-22. Fantastic job. I mean, we're beginning to do better against the National League East. The next 3 games where Destiny is gonna head out, it's gonna be very, very interesting. We have, I don't know, there is a kryptonite there with the Citi Field. I don't know what in the world it is, but somehow, somewhere, we cannot hit at Citi Field, and it's a problem. It is a problem. We didn't hit in the beginning of the year. They swept us, and we cannot allow that. We need to win at least one game. Just win whatever game. Christopher is pitching tomorrow. Just win one game tomorrow, and we'll be happy. So the other positive thing is, look, we've had one clear winning month, which was May, and August is beginning to look like that too, which is great news. I mean, coming out of the All-Star break, and so that is very, very good news in that end. We're beginning to do a little better against left-handed pitching. I mean, without a doubt, Schwarber is part of the magic. I don't know, Destiny, when you look at these numbers, any thoughts?
I have to go back and look to see what their month-to-month record is last year. I feel like a lot of those wins were concentrated early, but it feels like,
Yeah, that's true.
except for July, like they were one game under 500. I feel like
they were 14-10 in August or something like that last year.
Okay.
I think, yeah, but I forget what September was.
I mean,
but
we
yeah,
played 500 ball the second half of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the problem, that we did not come at the right time. We did not come at hot at the right time.
Yeah, I think like part of it, and like you said, they were surging in the first half of the year, and then they were so far ahead and pretty much in the division standings, like they pretty much had everything locked up around this time. But this year, they really have to fight for that bye to the division series. The Mets are 7 games behind, but you still can't take a series like this for granted. I believe they play 4 in September. So, I mean, I think the Mets are cooked. They might not make the playoffs, but like you still can't take them lightly. So I think a big difference that I personally feel, and I would think the players feel as well, and maybe a lot of fans, is that like I said last year, like I feel like it was kind of set in stone that they're going to make the playoffs and they're going to have the standings, and they're kind of just waiting for October to come. Like they kind of can't really do that this year. And then when you add in, like, there's a lot of internal competition as well, with the outfield, with the bullpen, with the rotation. Like, I think all of that's a positive moving forward as they get ready to, finally win a championship.
Yeah, the vibes in the clubhouse, like we always talk about the vibes, right? Well, the vibes in the clubhouse, what Destiny said, they just feel a little different. Like you got guys competing with each other for roles or for more bats or whatever the situation is. Like even when I go in like that now, this time of year is very seldom because of the Eagles going on. It's still though, when I go in there, like everybody just seems to be in a better mood. It's like they're not waiting for something anymore. It's like, oh, okay, like we have a chance to do this or we have a chance to do that, or let's try to one up this last year. And I do think it's a really good sign that a lot of players, like they know the Mets are behind them. I don't think they truly know how many games they are up on the Mets, nor do they seem to care.
I remember Alec Boehm, like he did the ESPN mic'd up interview, I think in June, and he said something awesome. It was like, who cares about like who's in first place in June? Like that really doesn't matter. So I think it's quite exhausting. Like if the feeling from the outside, I'm sure it seeps inside, is like, prove it to me in October. Well, like they have things to prove between now and when the postseason starts. So I think that's like a healthier way of looking at it, for not just for the players, but for, the fans and everybody that pays attention to this team.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the top news. I mean, outside of Zach that we talked a minute ago, and we wish him nothing but the best, and our prayers are with him. Let's talk about the rotation. Look, the reality, Taiwan is not in this chart. I mean, but he's part of the 5-man rotation. And sorry, Aaron, if you're looking at this, sorry I kept you with the Iron Pigs look. Iron Pigs.
I like that jersey.
I had to put my glasses on to notice that.
I like the jersey. So sorry I kept it there. Look, Aaron has not had a good season. Okay, he's 2-7. He came out yesterday and he pitched, I would say a good game. Rhea, you've seen Aaron Nola since the very beginning.
Oscar, it was a typical Aaron Nola game. And if you can get a typical Aaron Nola game, that's a good thing. Yeah. What is it? Two solo home runs? If
two
that's
solo home runs, and then the defense basically gave the other run.
So if you can get that from Aaron Nola, that's kind of what he's been. And, if that's what you're getting, I think that's good, because you're right. You got Sanchez. I mean, you look at Suarez, Ranger, what he's doing. I mean, he literally, because of the Zach Wheeler situation, is now and I Destiny, you tweeted out about the qualifying offer. The Phillies would pray that he would take a qualifying offer if he pitches like he pitches the last 2 games. I mean, he's got 10 strikeouts, 11 strikeouts, but if that's the Aaron Nola that they can get, and you've got Sanchez pitching the way he's pitching, Ranger, if he can keep this up, I don't know if I trust Luzardo to be the third guy, but if I can get the Aaron Nola where I'm like, okay, Aaron Nola's going to give up 1 or 2 solo home runs, I can live with that as my third.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think right now Lugardo is there. You don't want to have three left-handed pitchers, one after the other. So you need that righty in the middle. There is one thing as I was looking and doing the game today. One thing that is a couple of very interesting things on Ranger. Ranger in his career has a 3 ERA away from Citizens Bank Park and 3.81 at Citizens Bank Park. So 3.81 versus 3. And even this year, he has a 4. I mean, I'm not including the game today, okay? But before the game today, he's 4-2 and 4.27 at home, and 5-4 and 2.25 away from home. So if you can win the first game, let's put the worst case scenario. We go to a wild card, and then we pitch in the first game Sanchez, and we win that game. The second game should be Nola. And then if you, for some reason, lose that game, then you have Ranger Suarez for that last game.
And that was your game one starter in Atlanta those 2 years they beat the Braves. If you
lose the first game, then you have Ranger throwing the second game, and then you have the opportunity after if you lose, you're going to have Aaron Nola in the last game, and you got to find a way to do it. So, again, I think we're going to have to start thinking about this. We're going to be in the postseason. I think there's a 99% chance in FanGraph right now that we're going to be in the postseason. But the maneuvering, I think when I see Aaron Nola, when I saw him yesterday, and I was talking to Anthony Sanfilippo today, he threw 44% of his pitches were knuckle curves. I think he's trying to reinvent himself, and it's not ideal to reinvent yourself in the middle of a pennant race. So, look, the next few
I would advise against it.
Look,
or throw your best pitch as often as you possibly can and see what happens.
So it's going to be I saw him throwing some changeups yesterday, the cutter. I think he's trying to find the best version of Aaron Nola. Look, we love
Oscar,
Aaron.
do you think it's because his velocity is down a little bit that he's trying to tinker?
That's part of the dynamics. He's not throwing he was throwing 94 3-4 years ago. Yeah. Now he's down to 92, 91. And unless there is movement, and that's what you see. I think he has, and I was saying this in the broadcast in Spanish today, I think he has two great pitchers that he can look into. One is Robertson. The way Robertson has evolved over the years, he's 40 years old, and you see him throwing cutters. I mean, he used to throw a lot harder than what he's throwing today. He can learn of how he's re-engineering himself. And the same thing with Ranger. The way Ranger throws the baseball and the way he keeps batters up pace with a 91-an-hour fastball, he can learn a lot from Ranger and the way he does his magic. So, look, there's nothing more than we want. This guy, we love this guy. We love what he brings to the table. Every intangible is there. We just hope he's effective, and the next few outings are going to be very, very interesting because I think he's going to be pitching against Atlanta in his next outing. I don't know if he's going to be on Thursday. He's going to be pitching against the Braves. So it'll be very, very interesting what happens in the next few games.
I think the good sign of in the playoffs, the bar is significantly lower. If you get 6 innings and 3 runs out of Nola, that's an amazing playoff outing because the strategy is to go to the bullpen as quickly as you possibly can once a few runners get on. So I thought Nola's outing was really, really encouraging.
Yeah. I mean, I gave her a rate of maybe between 7.5 and 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. So look, and the 2 solo home runs, and there were solo home runs, and we've seen a lot in the last 3 years. How many solo home runs?
That's what he does.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, so it's fine. I mean, he did his part. I just hope he continues to build on that very good start he had yesterday in the next few starts. Look, Sanchez, I mean, the best changeup in baseball, better than a schoolball. What can we say? I'm amazed what this guy can do with basically 2 pitches. I mean, I'm amazed. It's like the way he fools people. I mean, I would love to just stand up there and see him throwing his sinker and throwing the changeup. I believe he throws it exactly the same that hitters cannot catch up to him. I mean, they cannot see it. I mean, it's just amazing how he fools guys with 2 pitches. It's
Oscar, do you think it's also that people even at this point, they don't, it's like, oh, Screwball, oh, Skeens, and Christopher Sanchez just kind of gets forgotten about. And I think sometimes they're surprised at how good he is. Because I just don't think that that he's elevated to that status of being that. I mean, look, he wasn't an all-star. And it's to me, I just think that he's underestimated, not just by like baseball people, but by the other players.
That is a fair point. I mean, that is a fair point. Without a doubt, he's underappreciated. I think part of it has been under the win of Wheeler.
Yeah.
That you in every staff. I mean, and the Phillies are a hot team and all that. Everybody's going to say best pitcher is Zach Wheeler, the best pitcher is Zach Wheeler. And one of the things, he's so humble that he said, look, Zach Wheeler is my favorite pitcher. I mean, that's I love the guy. I mean, the guy is really, really special, a really special person. And look, he continues to grow. I mean, I think the way what Callum and the team have been able to do is he's like a diamond, a rough diamond that they continue to polish, and he continues to evolve, and it's amazing. I mean, and let me tell you, I think that this guy has a lot more to offer than what he's that good, and he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball right now, and he has a lot to give in the future. So that is the great news about all this. Go ahead.
You know, Oscar, one thing I like about Sanchez is too, he always finds something to motivate himself, right? Like the All-Star game, for example. I talked to him with Diego right after he knew he wasn't getting picked, and he didn't say anything, but he had to. But you could tell he was saying something just by his facial expression, or by like, look, it's like, okay, I'll show you, I'm this good. And like with Zach Wheeler, I think now with the Wheeler stuff, that's how I go into it, because they are close, and he loves Zach Wheeler, and this is his chance to show everybody, hey, look, I can be the ace of this staff. I'm good enough to do that. I'm good enough to carry this team if I need to carry this team. And look, the Phillies didn't know this with Cole Hamels going into the 08 playoff. They knew, the Phillies knew he was an ace, but I don't think baseball did. We could see that this postseason.
He's humble enough, but he understands. But he, in the same time, he has confidence and he believes in himself. And we've seen a significant evolution of him, particularly with on away games. I mean, he had like a 5.6 ERA last year in away games, and he's improved that dramatically to be under 2 at home, or away from home. So it's a great sign.
Remember, that was the big debate last year. Like, people were wondering why he starts game 2. Like, because the splits are so much better at home than they are on the road. And now we're kind of having the same combo with Ranger Suarez. It's like, why wouldn't you start him in a game 3 of an NLDS?
So let's change the subject from pitching to hitting. I think there's a couple interesting dynamics here. The first one, which is the more positive, which is on the right, what Stott is doing with the bat. I mean, JT has had, and I was listening to Rob Ellis and Mike Silsky yesterday, and look, it's amazing. Rob was saying that the last 3 months, JT is hitting. I mean, I think he was like 293, 360, and 328. I mean, JT is hot. I mean, JT is hitting on an amazing pace, and
he's
then
third in baseball in batting average since June 1st.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. And then you see Stott, after having his baby, he lower his batting stance, keeping his bat on his shoulder, and you see a different.
He didn't have the baby, Oscar. I just want to point that out.
It's all about the baby. It's all about the baby.
Those of us who had babies, he didn't have the baby.
Okay. You got me. Okay. Hey. When his wife had the baby,
no comment. I will not add on to this.
No.
My baby is now 16 and taller than me, so it's been a long time, but I still remember.
Hey, baseball is alive. The Yankees are beating the Boston Red Sox. How about that?
There you go.
Sorry. So look, the way we've been able to extend the batting order is amazing. I mean, when you see the bottom of the order hitting the way they are, and you saw everything coming together, Harper, Schwarber, Turner, you saw Stott, you saw even a Max Kepler, I mean, hitting home runs. And I love that game when he replaced Castellanos in right field, that he went with 3 hits and a home run. I mean, it's amazing. And Destiny, I would love your thoughts on what is your perspective on what's going to happen with the outfield. I mean, we know the outfield have been the Achilles heel of our team, hitting, particularly in the bottom of the order. We see Stott coming out of the slump, and JT hitting like he hasn't hit in the last 2 years. Welcome your thoughts about how you see the outfield and the Phil's batting order.
The outfield, honestly, like I'm kind of like Rob Thompson. Like I don't know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis because you make the lineup and then like Harrison Bader goes 3 for 4 or whatever, and then your hand is kind of forced. So like right now they're calling it an outfield rotation. At first they called it a left field and center field platoon. They want to mix in Max Kepler a little bit more in right field, and I think that's a very good idea. I think Harrison Bader should probably get more playing time in center field just because he's such a gifted defensive center fielder, and we've seen how that has mattered in the playoffs with Johan Rojas a couple years ago. Brandon Marsh has cooled off since his, I would say, extended hot streak. I don't think that should be held against him because cold streaks happen. And even Weston Wilson, like when they put him against left-handed pitching, like he's been very productive. So they're in a very good spot, something that they haven't been in all year, where pretty much every outfielder is producing. Even Nick Castellanos, I think, has had better at-bats the last couple of days. So I am like, this is the most fascinating story for me. I know sometimes it could be a little bit tiring to kind of talk about this every day, like who's playing and who's not in the lineup. How is Rob going to manage all these personalities, especially when you talk about Castellanos and his playing time? Personally, I think like the best path moving forward is a left field platoon with Marsh and Wilson. Bader mostly playing center field every day, maybe giving him a couple days off and putting Marsh in there. And then mostly straight up right field platoon. I think Max Kepler against righties and Castellanos against righties is kind of like an even split. And then Max is just a much better defensive outfielder. I mean, I could take the argument that Nick probably has more upside offensively against right-handed pitching, but I think that's the best path moving forward. And it's with Rob, it's a matter of like, and I don't think like this should be the case, but like keeping Nick engaged to the point where he's kind of a useful piece in this lineup because they're going to need all the offense they could get.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like
very interesting. It's a very interesting.
It's
dynamic.
a very interesting balancing act. I'm sure like this whole like outfield plan has taken 5 years off of Rob Thompson's life. So
that's why he's always on year-to-year contracts. By
yeah.
But Destiny, you're right. I loved what you said right there about keeping Nick Castellanos engaged. I mean, these are the things that like I don't envy Rob Thompson. Now, will I criticize him after a game? Absolutely. But his usage of the outfield probably absolutely is keeping him up at night. You're right. I think Bader absolutely should be playing more. But Nick Castellanos can be a game changer in certain moments. And if you platoon him too much, do you lose him? And I think that's a really good point to bring up is the engagement of him, because he said in the past that he sometimes gets disengaged. So I think it's a big deal. I think that's something that Rob Thompson's got to – I think it's the toughest thing he has to manage going forward, all this, despite the loss of Zach Wheeler.
And maybe like you could just like kind of say to yourself, like, you know, run this right field platoon. And if Nick Castellanos isn't engaged and his at-bats get worse, then he's just losing himself playing time. But Rhea, I do think you're right. Like the last 2 postseasons, like, we talk a lot about like which hitters showed up and who didn't. You know, Nick Castellanos has had some really big hits. So yeah, I'm like I said, like with Oscar, or you know, I'm kind of like Rob. Like I really don't know like how this is going to look like in a week. You know, maybe all these guys go cold, and then you have a conversation about Justin Crawford as a September 1st call up. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Because they don't have enough players in the outfield.
Just add one more, a young player that the front office wants to play every
by the
day.
way, that literally this team has said he needs to play every day.
I know.
Yeah, and that's something else like we could talk about too. Like that's been their messaging with Justin Crawford. And I also wonder, like, can you bring him up and not play him every day, but prepare him for a postseason role where, like, if you need a bunt off the bench or you need a stolen base, like Justin Crawford could be a very useful player in that sense.
I do believe.
Does the front office want to do that? Like, I don't know.
I don't think Justin Crawford is coming. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think he's
I'm in the
coming.
same-
He needs to play every day, and there's not. Look, this is a team that needs to focus with the guys that he has. There is pedigree with the guys that you have. Nick Castellanos is concerning. I mean, it's concerning because he needs to put his team hat. And I think Kevin here, since a month for the month of August, Castellanos is one of the low. It's not even the month of August, since June. I mean, Castellanos has been one of the lowest batting. I mean, I think he was the third lowest in terms of OPS in baseball. I mean, some crazy number like that.
Yeah, Oscar, it's the opposite of last year. Remember, like everybody was getting on Nick Castellanos for his April, but I always pointed out since May 1st or since June 1st, he was carrying the team. Now it's the team's carrying him in a sense.
Yeah. Look at what John is saying. Nick needs to not play every day. At bat, also bat 7 or 9. He sees better pitches at the bottom of the order. Also, Bader needs to be the late inning defensive right fielder for Nick. Well, let's talk about that, because to me something very interesting happened, and this is the part that who you owe him money to. Kepler is not signed next year, but they promised him that he was going to play left field every day. It's a very, I mean, as you said, Rhea, I mean, we don't want to be in Thompson's in Topper's shoes.
I don't envy him. I don't envy him.
It's a very, very difficult situation. I do believe that there needs to be one single message. Look, we're all here together to win the World Series, and we all need to play as a team. I know that message is not necessarily going to resonate with some better than others, like for example Casti, that we know he's very prideful and he wants to be there every day.
And you know what, Oscar, I appreciate his pridefulness. I do, because we've got players in the city who won't even actually step on the court. So I appreciate that, like, he wants to play. But I think that you're right. That messaging, I don't know, like, you probably can't sit them all down at once, excuse me.
Sure.
But like, I think all those outfielders have to be sat down with Dave Dombrowski and with Rob Thompson and be like, this is how this is going. You are all here. You're all making a boatload of money. We all know that. We're here to win a championship. And this, like, don't lie to them. I think that's why Nick got so upset, 2 months ago, because like he didn't know what was happening. But I think, like, if you're honest with people and tell them how things are going to go, they might not like it, but they'll respect the messaging.
You know what, Rhea? Same with Kepler, right? When Kepler said back in, what was it, June? Like, I was told I was going to play every day, and literally like a week into the season, that turned out not to be the case. Like, you have a right to be upset over that. Probably not something you say, but it got said, it got out there. I think now people are kind of over it because time heals all wounds. But yeah, I agree. You sit these guys down and you tell them, hey, look, this is the plan, and the plan is working. So why change it?
I do give Max Kepler a lot of credit, because I think a couple weeks ago he had a really good game, and he was asked about it, and he pretty much said, like, I'm on board with whatever Rob needs, because I want to be a part of this run to a championship. I believe him. Like, I assume, like, a day like today, he probably thought he was going to be in the lineup, and there's a little bit of frustration. I think that's understandable, but
I was surprised. He was not in the lineup today. I mean,
I was too.
I was surprised.
He wasn't in because Bader was hot, right? Was that the reason?
No, Bader hit that pitcher really well too, right?
He was 5 for 6 against this guy. Yeah, he was 5 for 6 against this guy. Now, here is what I love. I love this week when they said Casti, Max Kepler hit the home run and had the 3 hits, and then the next day Castellanos goes out and starts swinging, comes here at 2:00. That I saw him batting practice at 2:00 and got, by the way, I'm still in the stadium. Don't ask me why, but I'm still in the stadium.
Yeah, well, you're always in the stadium on a Sunday. That's normal for you.
Yeah, normal. But
I think on Friday, all 5 of those outfielders were out for early batting practice.
I mean, I saw him at 2. I mean, this guy was hitting outside, and look, I love that. But I love the fact that they sat him down and said, look, you know what? This is a competition. I love how, by the way, Sirianni does an excellent job. We could criticize, and I know we criticize him less than we used to.
Yeah.
But Sirianni does an amazing job saying, look, this is a competition. From the top guy to the bottom guy, from Jalen Hurts all to the 56-man. This is a competition, and you're competing here for your job, and you're competing every day for it. And I love that. And Castellanos needs to accept And look, if he wants to play every day, hit. I mean, hit the way you hit the other day, and you'll continue being there. But look, I love the idea of rotation here in the outfield.
I do think like him continuing to play right field in the ninth inning is just completely insane. Like he is, and
I
if you
agree.
noticed last night, Thompson substituted Schwarber in left field, and if Duran blew another save, like his spot was probably going to be up because he was due up fourth. And then Nick, I think he was like the second to last batter in the last inning, so his spot probably wasn't going to come up again. So it's like, and that stems from what happened in June. Yeah, but like at some point, Rob has to replace this guy, and it has to happen before the playoffs.
Well, and that goes to Nick Picone, our dear friend Nick Picone's question. Sorry, Nick. Here you go. Casti ain't here next year, is he?
I don't think he'd be here this year if they could have found a partner for him.
Yeah. So it is one of those situations where. And I think Nick Cassiano said this week that he respects his manager, but it's not it is the situation. It's not a fluid dynamic going on there, without a doubt. I mean, that's a reality of it. So
there's definitely a love-hate relationship, I feel.
And with the fans too.
And like our dear friend John says here, great point, Rhea. Full transparency. Like Oscar said, our objective is to win the World Series. I don't care who plays. That's why I love Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni says, whatever you're going to do, you're competing every day for your job, period. That's
Oscar, to your point, because I think Jalen Hurts gets criticized for it. They're 4 games in last year, and they went to him and said, we need to run the ball more. It's better for this team if we run the ball. And they ran the ball to a championship, and in the Super Bowl, Saquon couldn't get anything done, so Jalen Hurts threw the ball. So you have to do what you have to do to win the championship, and that's
a culture thing too, and that's what Rob Thompson is trying to install in here, and he's been doing that since he's been here. But it's hard to get everybody on board, and that's what you have.
Baseball players are different.
Yes. Yep. Oh, they're way different.
And then you love the point when Jalen goes to the press, to the post, and then he said, "You know what, guys? Is this what you were looking for?"
Yeah,
yeah, that's what y'all wanted to see. That was, but you know what?
And the answer, Jalen, was yes. In case you were wondering.
But I will say this about Nick Castellanos: I have a feeling he could have a 4-hit game in the playoffs with like 2 home runs, and he would say the exact same thing. Like as soon as he gets in the media scrum, that's what y'all wanted to see, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move. I mean, the reality is the bottom of the order is hitting much better. Bryson and Stott. We'll see a couple of numbers here and I'll quick, but I like to always show kind of where we are. We're 9th in baseball in runs scored. Now we're 6th in OPS. 6th in OPS. We were 11th 4 or 3 weeks ago. We're 5th against right-handed pitching. Hitting in OPS, we're 10th against left-handed pitching.
That was a lot lower a couple weeks ago.
Bingo.
Too.
I mean, you start seeing this team hitting. I mean, our OPS with runners in a scoring position was in, I think, 11th. Now we're 4th. I mean, you can see everything beginning to come together. The question is, are we going to keep it up for the rest of the year and be hot?
But you know what's funny, Oscar? The chase rate has gone dramatically
high. It's still high.
Yeah,
but it went really high over the last month.
Yeah, it went from 30.0 to 30.1 now. We're 28th in all baseball.
Maybe chasing is a good thing.
For them it is.
They are playing better.
For them
and then
they were kind of neutered the first 2 months, and we were kind of disappointed. So why not?
You know what blew my mind today when I saw that somebody had said, that Trey Turner's got like 1 million infield hits. He leads the majors. I think he's tied with Bogarts at 28. So infield singles. I'm sorry.
By the way, while Oscar was talking about the news of the week, I forgot to mention this. I did think it was funny Trey Turner's 1,500 hit was actually an infield single, something he did not want it to be.
Yeah.
You know what? Life, dude. Life. Hey,
that was a horrible scoring decision.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was.
Nobody cares.
Beyond horrible.
Nobody cares anymore. It happened when it happened. You put the number there. We call it.
In 10 years, Destiny, no one will notice except for us.
You know what we're going to remember? Charlotte taking the picture of 1,500 home runs. That's what we're going to remember.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, Phillies and Eagles throwback cannot say any better. Never listen to what people say, watch what they do, and just a thought. Absolutely, 100% with your thought there. So look, this doubles, home runs, and extra base hits, they were in yellow. Now that we're 7th in doubles, 13th in triples. Who cares about triples that much? But we're 10th in home runs. We're 9th in extra base hits. 10th in strikeouts. We've gone down a little bit and being a little bit more impatient with base on balls, and then we're 7th in stolen bases. So, look, if we can be consistent hitting, this team can go very, very far away.
Oscar, I would say if you look at all the things, like there's more green than there is anything else. So that does point to a little bit more. I was really surprised at the OPS with runners in scoring position. That they're 4th. I mean, it was a lot higher than I thought it would be. But the fact that
they were 8th for 9th like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had a debate. I started a debate yesterday on a Spanish broadcast. I mean, it's important that you guys a lot cannot understand what we're saying there. But there's this theory. Somebody put it somewhere, and I brought it to our broadcast, which was very, very interesting. So what is more important? A home run, a solo home run, or a base hit that brings 2 runs in?
A base hit that brings 2 runs in.
Okay. Slugging. I mean, look at the stats right now, right? On base percentage, when you look at slugging, they don't count that the base hit. Yeah. They count it as 1.
Yep.
I mean,
exactly.
So there needs to be there's some dynamics here talking about the analytics world that there needs to be a better way to look at this and just looking at the stat. By the way, you're talking to a stats guy that is showing you all this.
You know what, Oscar? I think that's why OPS exists, though, because it's combining both.
Yeah,
but it doesn't. It does. And look, on base percentage and slugging doesn't count. The guys that are coming in, it counts it as RBIs, but it's not count as. And we're not looking here at RBIs. I mean, we're looking here at run scores per game, which is the most important measure at the end of the game. But again, those are the type of dynamics that we have to deal with when you look at a lot of the stats. The reality is we need to be a lot more consistent. Tell me why in the world yesterday Parker, one of the worst pitchers in all baseball, a left-handed pitching, the guy is like 7-19 or some crazy 7-15. I mean, we couldn't get a hit out of the guy until the 4th inning. I mean, we couldn't do anything against the guy.
That's baseball.
It's baseball. I know. It's baseball.
All right, Cliff Lee.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Look at I just have 2 very quick slides here on our hitting. Let me pull it up here. Let me just show it up complete so everybody can see it here. This are who is hot right now on our team. I mean, you see Bryson Stott at 977 OPS, Trey Turner at 941, Alec Bohm at 338, JT Realmuto at 327, Schwarber at 887, Max Kepler 842.
There's a lot of Harper, 8s and 9s in there.
It's the entire lineup. I mean, you were talking Destiny of Brandon March, Bader, Sosa, poor Sosa. I mean, I love when Sosa hits a home run. Every time he hits a home run, he does it at a very, very special moment.
He was doing like the Saquon head thing yesterday.
Yep. But here's what we're talking about: Nick Castellanos. I mean, 554, and that includes the 3 hits he has the other day. So an additional slide that I added today that I've never had. Look at this, and I know it's we won't have much time to go into this, but take a look at this. This is the chase rate. This is the first pitch swinging, and then this is the whiff. So you see somebody like, I mean, let's look at Harper, right? So the average in MLB is 28 for chase rate. Harper is swinging at a 34.9, so he's chasing the ball. Castellanos is the worst. 40%, 28% is the average in MLB, and he's swinging at pitches that are outside of the strike zone 40.9% of the time. JT at 32%, they're slightly above. The guys that do the best job for us, Schwarber is a monster. Where's Schwarber in this list? Here it is.
He's all the way down.
21. Because this rank is ranked by chase rate. 21.4. I don't know who in the world is Brewer Hickling. So sorry about that. I think this is the guy that does the update the charts that he wanted to put his number in there. Rafael Marchand, 22.4. He's very patient hitter too. Bryson Stott, 22.6. Weston Wilson. I mean, you see Alec Bohm. But from Brandon March up, we're chasing. So it's something that is a concern. And remember, when we were talking about the postseason a couple of years ago, chasing was our biggest issue. This continues to be a problem for the Phillies that are 28th in chasing. Now,
well, and I think we do like just give a little love to Marchand, as you mentioned, his patience today. You know, he walked in a run. He accounted for all 3 runs today, which was impressive for a guy who doesn't get that many at bats.
He won 2. He's won 2 games for us. He won the Braves game with that home run, and he won this game as well. Here you see the first pitch. The average on MLB 32.2. Harper swings at the first pitch 53.6% of the bases. Nick Castellanos, number 1. He's number 1 on everything. He likes to be number 1 on everything. 56% swinging at the first pitch. He also has Harrison Bader has the highest, Otto Kemps, or Otto is not with us in the team right now, but you see Weston Wilson hitting at 30.6. 25% is whiff, swinging and not hitting the baseball. 25% of the time, you see who has the highest percentage. So you see Harper is at 31.4, Nick Castellanos at 28.5. I mean, we have a lineup that tends to chase a lot, and we tend to whiff a lot and also hit. We're number 2 in all of baseball swinging at the first pitch. So, again, I just wanted to throw it out there, just some additional very interesting slides.
Oscar, I was getting frustrated at some of these Nationals pitchers that would throw a pitch anywhere near the zone against Castellanos. Like, that should be the first thing on the scouting report. Like, throw a breaking ball outside. Like, what are you doing?
Again, the colors don't mean anything. I just wanted to highlight that there are 3 different things there. But the reality is, I mean, we chase too much out of the strike zone. I mean, we're guilty of chasing too much out of the strike zone. And to me, I asked a question to some of the coaches to get their perspective about the first pitch swinging. Also, Jason Stark, I asked him the same question to get his perspective as well. And what they're saying is that we're chasing fastballs. That we're do this because we're chasing fastball, and that's what Castellanos was. So Castellanos is chasing fastball, but he's also the one that swings at most pitches outside of the strike zone. So plate discipline is something that we are going to have to continue to monitor. Again, we are who we are. We're a veteran team. Fixing this and veteran teams. Kudos to Turner. Trey Turner has done an amazing job this year, becoming a much better hitter and becoming a much better fielder. So kudos to him. I mean, he definitely have worked very, very hard. And I know that how hard he worked in spring training with his fielding, and he's paying off. And I know he's had a couple bad occasions where he's dropped the ball, but kudos to him. He's really done a great job. Here's pitching. I mean, look, we have the best starting pitching in baseball, basically. I mean, we're number 3 in wins with 50 wins. It's the second column, second row there. We're 3rd in ERA. We're 5th in home runs, allowing home runs, despite the fact that we are the team that have our starting pitching have pitched the most innings out of any teams in all of baseball. We're number 1 in strikeouts. We're number 5 in base on balls. And then, look, our Achilles heel has been a relief pitching, but help is coming. And there's one guy that I'll mention today. I mean, beyond Duran, David Robertson. I mean, he's done an amazing job. I mean, he came here. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, no, he's been great. And, that was one of the things I loved about the David Robertson signing, outside the fact that you didn't have to give up anything to get him. I'm like, look, this guy could still pitch. It was clear he could still pitch last year. And everybody's like, well, he faded at the end of the year. I'm like, well, okay, he faded at the end of the year, but he also pitched the whole year. Now this is April David Robinson. You're getting it, and you're going to get a really good David Robinson, probably like the May or June version, September and October. So I like the role they have him in. You can put him in the 6th, you can put him in the 7th, you can put him to get out to the 8th. And look, one thing I'm really liking about this bullpen right now is you don't have to rely on Orion Kerkering and Matt Strom every single day now because you have David Robinson, because you have Jose Alvarado. Johan Duran.
Tanner Banks.
Tanner Banks. Thank you.
Tanner Banks has been tremendous. I mean, what like literally, I think Rob Thompson had the right word. He's been a godsend. He's been terrific.
What he did today,
I
mean, it was incredible.
We talk about underrated players on this team. Tanner Banks is probably the most underrated player on this team.
Look, and everybody wanted to get him out of town not too long ago.
Well, I don't know why. Like I thought he was pretty decent for him last year for the role he was asked to do.
He was okay, but he's always been a lefty specialist. But this year, he's taken it to another level. And look, I love what Thompson did today. Look, Alvarado didn't have his stuff today. Look, go back next time you'll do it. Bring Tanner Banks, double play, allowing the run, which was the right thing to do, and then a fly ball to center field. Basically, you could say game over after that happened.
That's one thing I loved. Like when Thompson said, "All right, Tanner, go do this." Like, we'll have Ryan pitch the knife. Go do this. Matt Strom was unavailable. Johan Duran was unavailable. Obviously, you earned this. And he said this to me. I think it was maybe a month or two ago. I think it was 2 months ago. Like, where do you feel Tanner Banks fits in all this? And he goes, well, he's earned those high leverage situations, and I'm glad Rob backs that up.
I don't know, Destiny, your thoughts on the transformation of the relief pitching of this team?
I mean, it's just adding like somebody like Robertson and somebody like Duran. It kind of slides everybody down a little bit. I think I wrote this in my story. Like they are 68-2 when leading after 8 innings, and the only other time they lost was when Jordan Romano gave up that inside the park walk-off home run, and he's going to be nowhere near the 9th inning. He might not even be on the team in 2 weeks, if we're being honest. So you just like it feels like the last couple years where at any given time Rob Thompson has like 5 or 6 high leverage legit options, and that just hadn't been the case for most of this year. So I think it's just a matter of getting more depth, these guys pitching really well, and Rob Thompson being able to mix and match his options.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Any thoughts, Rhea, the way you've seen it from your end?
Yeah, I mean, you look at what's been happening. I mean, Alvarado clearly didn't have it today, and that was I was texting with Jeff, and I went, "Oh God, no!" This is because I said to him when Jeff asked, "Can I come on this week?" I said, "Oh, great, Wheeler goes down," and you finally asked me to come on for a disaster, and then I saw, "Oh, we're heading towards another disaster today." I thought I saw a really interesting comp on Twitter today, which a guy we forget about in the 2008 World Series run. And somebody said, Tanner Banks reminds me of Scott Air.
Oh, yes.
Not a guy you talk about a lot, but a guy who came in high leverage situations. And I was like, wow, that's a real, it kind of reminded me that he's not a name that we always talk about the bridge to Lich. But we never really talk about him. And I just think Tanner Banks has been huge for them.
And Scott Air was that guy that you got after the trade deadline when they had the waiver trade deadline. And he was one of those guys you picked up. You had him, you had Jason Romero. I mean, even a guy like Clay Condrey helped this team in 2008.
Yeah. No, I mean, without a doubt. Let's right quick. I mean, 3 or 4 more slides because I know it's getting late today. But I wanted to show you.
You are way past my bedtime, Oscar. But I'm on vacation.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble. But I'm glad you're on vacation. That's the most important thing. So here are the numbers. Let me actually. Yeah. Here are the numbers. We're starting our pitching is in the month of August. Forget about Seth Johnson. I mean, we wish him all the best, or Rangel that are there. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. They're not here right now.
Hey, I got to give him credit where credit is due.
We wish him all the best.
Yeah, we wish him all the best.
Seth Johnson's probably better than Romano at this point. So.
Oh, he is. Yes.
Tanner Banks, here it is. 1 ERA, 2-0, 9 innings, 6 hits.
Wow.
6 strikeouts. I mean, the guy does his magic. I mean, Johan Duran, 1.17 ERA, 7 saves already in 8 chances. I mean, as we experienced. David Robertson, 1-0, 159. Christopher Sanchez, 205. I mean, Taiwan Walker, 228. Luzardo, 3. By the way, Luzardo threw really, really well against Seattle the other day. That was a really promising outing for him. Hopefully he can keep it up and do his magic against the Mets here. Max Lazar, Ryan Kerr, and then Wheeler. And then you go in with Ranger Suarez. But Ranger Suarez, The last two outings have been, and this includes today's outing, he's been completely, he's been truly, truly amazing. So
it feels like a lot of these guys like Suarez, Kerkering, Strom right now, it's the ERA is kind of deceiving based on how they're pitching.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move to kind of our session where we talk about the minor leagues right quick. And I like to update the Andrew Painter and the Justin
Our weekly
Crawford.
Andrew Painter update.
Yeah, the Andrew Painter update. 5 innings this week, four hits, 1 run, 4 base on balls, and 5 strikeouts.
He battled this week.
Yeah, he battled this week. Look, he did not allow a home run, which is good. He needs to continue to do his magic. And to me, he should come next year after taking a nice break during the spring or whatever, during the winter, and coming into spring training with a fresh opportunity to make the team. And look, even if it is as a lone reliever, I know they will not want to do that, but I remember in the old days that's how we used to do it. We used to bring these guys as lone relievers. I remember Storm Davis with the Orioles came as a storm reliever, as a lone reliever, and then he was jump into the. But now they jump them directly, and they need to be starting pitchers. So baseball have changed tremendously over the years. So
well, Andrew's got a huge opportunity if Wheeler is not available to what we're thinking, maybe the All-Star break.
Yeah,
they
say 6 to 8 months. So
yeah, he's got an opportunity because it just doesn't look like it's there this year that, he's going to, that July-ish term where we thought with Rob Thompson is not there, but he's got an opportunity to step in and help this team hugely next year.
Yeah,
and he's got to
see more strikeouts. I want to see more strikeouts.
Got to work on a lot of stuff. Yeah.
To me, there's one.
The July-ish comments.
What was that?
Not the smartest thing from Dave Dombrowski last year. I think it put like an unnecessary amount of expectations on Painter. Really, the messaging should have been like he's a year removed from when he's ready. He's a year removed from Tommy John surgery, so we just want him to be healthy and pretty much get his command back. But I think like people were expecting him to come at that time, and now that he's not here and maybe won't make his debut this year, it looks like a failure. Yeah. When really, like, they just needed him to pitch.
And he shouldn't think about it that way. He needs to think that, look, I had Tommy Young surgery. I'm on my way back. First of all, Steve, my dear friend Steve Porter always tells me, by the way, he just wrote me and he said, you should go behind home plate and watch how Christopher Sanchez throws his changeup. Just like his sinker, so nobody can identify what is coming. So, but basically here, look, this guy needs to have, first of all, his speed is there. Now he needs to have his command, and that comes with time, and he needs to continue to do his thing. He's up to 86 innings. The number that the Phillies had said was 120 to 130. He should maybe make it to 100, 110. And then
that's about 4 or 5 more starts, which is on pace. But by the way, I want to add with the Andy Painter thing. I think I may have said this on the show a couple weeks ago, but I know the Elias table got to him. It was because he had so much early success in Clearwater, and he comes up and he has early success in Lehigh. And it was starting like he was like, okay, when am I coming up? Well, it's going to be before July at this rate. And then he started getting rocked. It's like, okay, I'm fine. But then when it actually came, it just seemed like he'll never admit it, but it did get to him. And I think when everything passed, it was kind of like a way for him to reset a bit. And now he can just pitch and work on stuff. And I think that's what you need this guy to do the rest of the season.
Yeah. The same thing with Justin Crawford. To me, he needs to continue to finish the season and then have the opportunity. We'll see what happens. If Castellanos gets traded, we're probably going to have to eat a percentage of that contract. If he is or he's not, I don't know that.
He's got 5 home runs now. That's my guy. Jeff knows that's my guy. I wanted him up all year, and he's not
he hit
up,
a home run this year.
He did hit another home run, yeah.
But the reality is he's young. Yeah. He's 21 years old.
Yeah.
He is.
But I think Destiny brought up a great point earlier, like what they could use him in the playoffs. Those legs, the little things that he could do. I just think I've wanted him up for a long time. I'm not expecting him to come up and set the world on fire with his bat, but I think he could help this team in little ways.
I think it will be very interesting to see who is the guy that comes up September 1st.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably the safe bet is Otto Kemp. I think probably not Johan Rojas if you have Harrison Bader, but if they're going to bring up Crawford, they have to do it on September 1st because that makes him eligible for the postseason. Like, you have to be on the 40-man roster by September 1st in order to be postseason eligible. But that's just like an idea. Like, I think Justin Crawford, even if he's not playing every day, could be useful. It's just a matter of what does the front office
Johan
want.
Rojas' defense also. Because Johan Rojas is a much more natural defensive player.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like Destiny mentioned, Otto Kemp. I know they want Otto Kemp getting every day at bats, and wasn't getting them down there. There are other reasons I will not say, but you know, I'll just say this: they want these guys playing every day. They still think Otto's got a bright future with this team. They still think Justin's got a bright future with this team. If you're not going to play every day, I wouldn't bring them up.
Yeah, me
I was looking this up. Like, if they brought up Justin Crawford, he would be the 4th youngest player playing in the major leagues right now.
That's insane.
I think the 3 players that are younger than him, Basayo, who just came up and signed that extension with the Orioles, Churio from
I was gonna say, is Churio younger than him?
Yeah, he's been up for a while, and Roman Anthony. Those are the 3 players that are younger than Justin Crawford.
By the way, Churio and Anthony were 2 top 5 prospects.
Yeah, those are superstar Justin Crawford's like a pretty well-heralded prospect, but he's not up to that level.
But what I'm always saying, I get the whole youngest thing, but I think it does, and I know people think I'm crazy, but I think it being the family business is a little bit different. He's been trained differently. His father was a great Major League Baseball player, and like those things have been talked about. This isn't like you or me having a kid and he wound up, being a Major League Baseball player. It is the family business.
And he's got a cousin that's pretty good in Seattle.
Yes. Yeah. So I just think that adds a little bit of layer of not maturity, but understanding. Maybe.
By the way, Jeff, I fixed the typo.
I did see that. Yeah,
it's a miracle. The Crawford now is with a D.
Yeah. I mean, Justin Crawford's was pretty good, but I think this guy's pretty good too.
My ears were ringing when I put this slide. Oh, there's a problem here. Let's fix it. Look, to me, this kid is very young, 21 years old. He'll have a tremendous opportunity. I'll bring him to spring training just like I do with that I would do with Andrew Painter. I said, look, guys, you have an opportunity here. Take advantage of it. That's it. That's what I would do. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Without a doubt, his speed is game changing. I mean, and we don't have somebody that can run like that coming out of the bench.
No.
So that's the other dynamic.
But
so
what's crazy is he's not even the best base stealer in the organization.
Aiden Miller
is.
Yeah. And we don't talk about him.
Okay, so the last 2 slides on the minor leagues, these are the players of the week. So Aiden Miller won the player of the week. The guy went crazy, 550. Wow. He's still 11 going for crazy. 20 with 4 doubles, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 5 runs, 2 stolen bases. Since August, this guy is hitting 380 with an OPS of 1.158. This guy's going to be a superstar in my view. I call him Bobby Witt Light. And it's going to be special.
I'll tell you what, Oscar, that's why they call it an average.
Stolen bases already, or 49 stolen bases already. Wow. He's going to be at 50 very soon.
Yeah, once he gets to 50, he'll tie the Reading franchise record.
I want to hear that laugh of Destiny. Look at that smile there.
What was I laughing about?
I don't know. Maybe I call him Bobby Witt Light.
That is a funny nickname.
I don't know.
I mean, if he's anywhere close to Bobby Witt, like the Phillies finally have a legit superstar.
This guy was
developed from the minor leagues.
233 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
He's up to 255.
Wow.
I mean, this guy is special. This guy.
August Aiden Miller, post deadline Aiden Miller is always going to be a thing to me because last year, I think he thought he was going to get traded. Never happened. This year, I think they gave him more of a reassurance he wasn't going to get traded, and it still happened. He didn't get traded, but it's still in the back of your mind. I remember like a couple people were talking to him about maybe 2 weeks for the deadline. He says, I can only control what I can control, but you do have to think about it.
Our friend Steve Porter has said that Justin Crawford is ready for the big league. So And here's our
been
pitcher.
ready for the big leagues.
This is our pitcher of the week. Is Mavis Graves. He was a 6th rounder that we got a couple years ago from high school. He's in his 3rd season, and the guy is doing a really, really nice job. And he continues to grow. He went 1-0 with five innings, striking out 7, and he continues to grow. So this is our player of the week. I don't want to take much time, and we have our last slide here, which is, and I know that Steve sent me like a bunch of names. I know Felix Reyes is again every week. Felix Reyes is in. This guy's a hitting machine.
All he does is hit. That's all he does in Reddit.
He's a hitting machine. So here's our schedule. So we're gonna be in New York. Sanchez against Senga, Luzardo against Minaya, and Walker against McLean. By the way, he's a young pitcher that came up. He's 2-0. He's a really good pitcher.
Really good.
He's a really good pitcher. He looks really, really good. Then we're going to have Nola in his first game against the Braves there, Ranger, and Christopher, and Luzardo. It's going to be a Sunday night. So next week, we're going to do our show after the game. And Anthony Sanfilippo, he loves what I say.
He is our Sunday night savant.
He's our Sunday
he doesn't
night
sleep.
He said that he only wants to do it for 20 minutes, but he's willing to give us a little bit more minutes afterward. He's going to kill me after today.
Can anybody explain to me the schedule against Milwaukee, which I find odd? The Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Labor Day, because Labor Day they want us to play on Monday, so they give us Tuesday off. I mean, that's
makes
the reason
no
why.
sense. It's a goofy schedule.
So bizarre.
It's bizarre.
By the way, Oscar, if I'm not on Phillies Weekly next week, there is a reason, because it'll be my last free Sunday for like 5 months.
I mean, let me put it this way: who does the Eagles in Espanol with Ricky Ricardo? By the way, Ricky Ricardo is coming on.
That's another thing in and of itself. Ricky, if he asks me to come on at midnight, I'm not sure if I'm coming on till 1:30.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Ricky asked him to go to every show. He's going to be on in the next 35 minutes. He might be coming down the turnpike here. I mean, no, actually, well, he probably is not going to do it today because the Yankees are playing Sunday night baseball.
Yeah, he won't do it tonight. Yeah,
he won't do it tonight. No, Ricky's the best. But look, it's a tough schedule, particularly the next 3 series. I just won 1 game in New York, at least. 1 game in New York, no matter what. If we take 2, good night, New York Mets. We're 7 games up on the Mets. So, Destiny, any thoughts as you look at the next few series?
I think a big reason why they struggled so much at Citi Field recently is because the Mets pitching at that time period has just been so much better. It's a lot worse now, so I'd feel a little bit more hopeful. I would assume that prospect McLean's probably the best starter that they'll see. And it's weird saying that because they're also facing Kodai Senga and Sean Manaea. But, yeah, I mean, they got their butt whipped in April last year. But also, like, the Mets had by far the best pitching staff out of anybody in the majors early in the year. It's changed significantly. So I'm expecting a much more competitive series. I know the Braves just lost against the Mets, but they've been playing a lot better baseball recently. I believe Chris Sale is going to start that Saturday game, so I guess they moved Strider to Sunday. And then talk about another team that butt whooped the Phillies. Like that Brewer series in May was probably the worst that they played all year. So I'm very much looking forward to what those 3 games look like. And then these Miami Marlins, like I'm totally shocked at just how good of a season that they're having, especially with the way that that organization operates. It's more about like getting that, like it's a lot. It's very similar to kind of how the Rays operate. Just get the most out of your players and then kind of dispose of them. But
ship them out.
Yeah. But they have a couple really good young position players. Like they always have really good pitching. So.
Eury Perez is an unbelievable pitcher. Yeah. That guy is going to win a Cy Young.
How about our guy Tyler Phillips? He's doing well down there too.
Yeah, Tyler is doing well. I mean, and you have Alcantara that won a Cy Young. I mean, it's not going to be. You can see on the right how they rank. So the Mets are 10th in runs per game, 16th the Braves, the Milwaukee Brewers. Look at that, they're 3rd in run scores and 3rd in ERA.
I mean, they're the best team.
They're the best team in baseball right now. They're 5-5 their last 10 games, but they're really, really, really good. And then you see the Marlins that have not played good this week, and you can see their numbers there. But trust me, the Marlins, with Eury, if we have to face Eury Perez, I mean, there's a very high likelihood that we're going to lose that game because the guy is absolutely lights out. He allows 1 or 2 runs per game.
You know what scares me about this Mets series? You're facing Senga, who can throw this offense off. You're facing Manaea, who has been known to throw this offense off since he changed his slot. And you haven't seen Nolan McLean, who, from the 2 starts I watched, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he's really good. Rhea, anything else you want to say about the Phillies? I mean, moving forward the next few days or weeks?
Well, I mean, listen, they've got to slay some ghost in New York. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, they've not played well there. And then they've got the 4 games here. The Brewers series, I'm just fascinated. Destiny, you were right. That was a really ugly series. I have to see Milwaukee again because I just don't know how they're doing it. I mean, there's no big names. Their big names are either not doing, they're just, it's like, is it smoke and mirrors or are they just really well coached? They play really good defense. They've got a great closer. So I'm just curious to see the Phillies and the Brewers, how they match up together. I'm really curious about that.
I'm worried
I think it's
Christopher not pitching there. Go ahead.
It's like a completely different dynamic between like a team like the Brewers and a team like the Phillies. There's a lot of young players. They play really good. I mean, the Phillies also play really good defense. I'm not going to, diss them, but they put the ball in play. There's a lot of speed. The manager, Pat Murphy, totally different character than Rob Thompson. He's a former college coach and he runs the team pretty much like a college team. He's not afraid. Like WIP would love this guy. He is not afraid at all to call out his players. He does it almost every day.
I love that.
Best team in baseball.
Yeah.
Look, when I think of WIP, I think of Chip Kelly.
Oh God, no.
When I think of WIP, I think of Gabe Kapler.
Yeah. Oh my!
He was a godsend to you guys.
It was one of the most remarkable interviews ever that Angelo had with Gabe when they were yelling at each other, and Al and I sat there like this, going, "Oh my God!"
Angelo and Gabe every Wednesday was appointment viewing.
It really was.
That was poison. That was poison.
And
then
was.
Angelo with Andy Reid. I mean that. Yeah. That's for the age.
Yeah, but Andy knew how to handle it. Gabe did not.
Andy was slick that way, but Gabe was not.
Look, this team is a really good team. This Milwaukee Brewers team. Priester is a guy that nobody knew before the season. I mean, the guy's pitching out of his mind. Quintana was a steal from the Mets. I can't believe they did not re-sign this guy. He's doing a hell of a job. And then Peralta is their best pitcher. And then they have Woodruff that came out of the disabled list, and the guy is pitching completely lights out after missing 18 months. So, look, this team is really special. And
they got the Miz on the IL.
Yeah.
I mean, pitching really is their calling card. They have bullpen arms for days, and then they could throw out a rotation like that. I remember Quinn Priester, like, I think there was one game in May where they had DL Hall as like a 2-inning lefty opener, and then or 3-inning lefty opener, and then Priester threw the last 6 innings, and he got a million ground balls against the Phillies. That was that Friday. It was one of the worst offensive showings they've had.
They had 2 openers against us. The same guy twice.
They did.
Yeah, that Friday game was the game Priester was at, because that was one of the games I didn't work. I went with a couple of friends, and we're like, oh God, like DL Hall's getting him out. Like, who's coming in? And we saw Priester coming in. We're like, they might be done. And
we've been swept 4 times. One of them was the Milwaukee Brewers when they came to Citizens Bank Park. So it's going to be very interesting. Rhea, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. I loved being on the show. It was awesome.
It's awesome. Thank you so much. Destiny, where can we follow you? All your magic with Phillies Nation.
On X, Destiny_Lugardo. I'm on Blue Sky too, Destiny Lugardo. You could read my stories on Phillies Nation. You don't even have to read them. Like I say, you just click on the article and then watch the video at the top. That's how I get paid. So
that's a good way. That's a good way to get paid.
Topper sweats when Destiny's asking the questions there.
Oh yeah, there was like one day where I was like a minute late to the press conference, and I was just standing on the side, and he walked by, and he's like, Destiny, and I'm like, oh, like.
Hey,
I always like looking at Rob's eyes though when you ask a question, Destiny.
Yeah,
it is fun.
He's like, oh, this one. It's kind of like Joe Girardi. I don't think he liked me either.
You know what? That might be a good thing.
It's a badge of honor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for truly joining us today. And look, it's really, really special to have you, Rhea and Destiny, for us today. And truly, I mean, both Jeff and I are honored and looking forward to next week. Again, next week we're gonna do the show after the game, so hopefully Anthony Sanfilippo going to stay a little bit more than 20 minutes, but we'll do it quick. We'll do a 30-minute show after the game. And again, it's thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to next week. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, truly, for joining us.
See you, Rhea.
Okay, take it easy. God bless everyone. Take care.
Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber bomb, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos.